When you were 7, a single summer lasted forever. Now, entire years vanish before you even notice. Something is stealing your time right from under you, and it is not what you think. There is a man sitting on a wooden porch with a white cat curled up on his lap. He just turned 40. He is staring at the sky, trying to remember last Tuesday. He can't. He can barely remember last month. But he remembers being 6 years old, lying in the grass, watching ants carry crumbs across a sidewalk crack with perfect clarity. That single afternoon lasted an eternity, but this entire year felt like a single week. This is not nostalgia. It is not mere sentimentality. It is a measurable neurological phenomenon. Almost every human being on Earth experiences it. Time itself is accelerating inside your mind. Not out there in the world, but in here, inside the quiet architecture of your brain. In 1897, a French philosopher named Paul Genet proposed an elegant and disturbing idea. He called it the proportional theory. When you are 5 years old, 1 year is vast. That single year represents 20% of your entire existence. It feels monumental, almost infinite. But when you are 50, that same year is only 2% of your life. It shrinks. Not in hours, not on any clock, but in felt significance, in weight. Your brain weighs each new year against every year that came before it, and the math is cruel. Each new year is proportionally smaller than the last. The fraction only ever gets thinner. But Genet's theory, as elegant as it is, does not tell the whole story about time. Because time does not just shrink with age, it shrinks with something more subtle: familiarity. Think about your first day at a new job, your first trip to a foreign country, your very first kiss. Those moments feel stretched and expanded, almost swollen with detail and color. Now think about your commute last Wednesday. Nothing. A blank. Your brain did not bother recording it. This is where neuroscience enters the story. Your brain does not experience time like a clock does. It constructs the feeling of duration after the fact based on how many new memories it stored. When you encounter something truly novel, a new face, a new danger, your amygdala fires intensely. Dopamine floods into your hippocampus. Your brain begins stamping every single detail into long-term memory. And later, when you look back, all of those rich, dense memories make that period feel long. But when your days are routine, the same drive, the same desk, the same meals repeated endlessly, your brain goes on autopilot. It stops recording. It decides that nothing here is worth remembering. And when you look back on a month of pure routine, there is almost nothing there at all. The entire month collapses. It folds in on itself. It feels like it simply never happened. This is the paradox. A boring afternoon, in the moment, feels like it drags on forever. But in memory, it vanishes completely. A thrilling adventure, in the moment, flies right past you. But in memory, it expands. It stretches out and fills the space. Time doubles back on itself. We experience time twice, once while we are living it, and once while we are remembering it. And those two versions of the same lived experience almost never agree with each other. The man on the porch scratches his cat behind the ears. The cat closes its eyes and purrs softly. He realizes something uncomfortable. His life has not been short. He just stopped paying attention to it. Between the ages of 5 and 25, nearly everything you encounter is completely new to you. First real friendships, first heartbreaks, first failures that sting. The world is an avalanche of pure novelty. But somewhere around 30, for most people, the avalanche gradually slows down and then stops entirely. The routines calcify, the days begin to repeat, and the brain, that ruthless editor, starts cutting. It cuts more and more from the final reel, leaving only a thin ribbon of memory behind. There is a concept in psychology called the Reminiscence Bump, and it reveals something profound. When older adults are asked to recall their most vivid memories, something strange and consistent emerges. The vast majority of those memories cluster between the ages of 15 and 25, almost always, not because those years were objectively better, but because they were simply newer to the brain. The brain recorded them in high definition. Every color was brighter, every feeling cut a little deeper. Everything after
Decades of mortgages and meetings and ordinary Tuesday nights gets compressed into a montage. So is there a way to fight it? Can you actually slow your experience of time back down? The answer, perhaps surprisingly, is yes, and it does not require anything particularly dramatic or extreme. You do not need to climb a mountain or sell everything and move across the world. You simply need to break the pattern. Take a different route home, learn a skill that frustrates you, have a conversation with someone who thinks nothing like you, cook a meal you have never tried. Each small, deliberate act of novelty forces your brain to wake up and start recording once more. The man stands up from the porch. The white cat hops down and walks ahead of him. They follow a path that neither of them has taken before. The grass is taller here, the light falls differently through the leaves. He notices the way the wind moves through the trees. And for the first time in months, he is not thinking about yesterday or tomorrow. He is here. This is the secret that no clock will ever teach you. Time is not a river. It is a story your brain is writing, and the length of that story depends on you. It depends entirely on how much new material you give it, how much you choose to notice. A life of pure comfort is a life that disappears. A life of curiosity stretches endlessly before you. The white cat stops on the path and looks back at him, as if asking one quiet question. He smiles. He follows. And for the first time in years, the afternoon feels impossibly, beautifully long.